and have never even seen a situation glad to be where she was. Now, am I saying it never happens? Of it happens. I even made a video about economic coercion in places like and
I want to hear the Filipina Pea here. Seriously. Let me do this. Oh, yeah, this one's going to have trouble.
Hi folks, the Filipina Pea here. And when you visit the Philippines, you're gonna see plenty of couples with large age gaps walking down the street holding hands. Now some of you think that's just fine, but other people have a strong negative reaction. So why is there such a difference of opinion? I recently did several videos that featured people with age differences, and as usual, some of you left comments like, ew, that's just sick, referring to the man as a pervert and to the woman as a gold digger. Now, from your perspective, I can understand why it might look so unhealthy, and everyone has a right to their opinion. But what's the reality behind these couples?
Okay. I'm just testing this to see if this is going to work because I've been having trouble with both these screen recorders, so I'm going to see if they're going to work for me. I just did the other one. I think what happened was the reason why it didn't work is because it made several files. And I deleted a file or something like that, so the file that was being used couldn't record. Wasn't on it. So what I want to say here about this whole Filipina P. Now, first of all, I believe that the Philippines is pretty big, like they say it is, and this whole passport bro, come to the Philippines, all you Western men, and get your Filipina pita, and get your get your retired Philippine lifestyle, and they're looking for um they're looking for gotta keep my eye on this. They're looking for retired Phil. So let's get one thing straight right off the top. You Western women that are looking at this, and you men that are from the West, and that are foreigners outside the Philippines and all like that. Look here, they're looking for a certain type of man in the Philippines. They're also looking. Now, see, one thing I've noticed, and I haven't gone to the Philippines, and anybody that's a blogger here on YouTube talking about the Philippines is going to shut me down real quick because, hey, dude, you never been to the Philippines, okay? I'm going by what y'all say, the stuff that comes out of your mouths that you don't realize you say, and you get carried away. For example, my man, what's his name? I forget his first name, but he got a Philippine channel. Okay, I mean, well, he has a channel about the Philippines that is titled Black Filipina TV. That's a red flag right there. Okay, you being black has nothing to do with the Philippines, bro. Leave that out. You being black don't have nothing to do with the Philippines. Okay, now all of a sudden, these Philippine girls and the white men said it out of their own mouths. I was listening to a guy today. I might go in my history and show him too. But listening to a guy today that talked about how white men have been doing this for a long time. Okay. But now these Filipinas of the Philippines are now making advertisements for black men to come to the Philippines. They finally started accepting melanated skin in the Philippines that ain't Filipina. And they're saying, hey, come to the Philippines and get your Filipina. And it's all about the Filipina. It's not really about your retirement as much as it is the Filipina. But they want you to be retired because that way they know where you're at and what you're doing. And that way you're willing to take your money and invest it in the one thing, mainly her, because for you to be retired, nobody wants to die, okay, in an empty bed, okay? Not the men anyway. We don't want to retire in an empty bed. We don't want to die and don't have a woman there to exceed us, okay? So it's the retired men, namely the retired white man, okay, that is on board, easily to get on board with this. And it's the retired white man that is, you know, going to invest the most money into this because white men always have the bigger businesses and the bigger financial profits. So, you know what I'm saying? To say that this is not about money is like exaggeration, actually. You're actually lying. It is about money. If I come over to the Philippines, if me and a guy come over to the Philippines together, me and another retired black men, come over to the Philippines together. If if two black guys and a white dude come over to the Philippines together, first of all, which one do you think the Philippine women will chase the first? You think it'll be the black guy who wants to come to the Philippines and work on his retirement instead of using his Western money to pay for everything, but he wants to come to the Philippines and work? How fast will he get his Filipina? Then you have his friend who is making top dollars in a business and retirement. Then you got the white guy that's retired and making top dollars in his business. Which guy do you think is going to get snatched up the first? Which guy do you think a Filipina might not cheat on in the Philippines? Or might not cheat on here in the West? Hmm? And what if the two black guys are older and the white guy is a little bit younger? He's like in his 40s, okay? And the black guys are in their 60s. They're hitting 60. The white guy's about like 45. Who you think is going to get snatched up the first? Well, it all depends on the women. If it's a little pickle jar woman, okay? And I don't think any of these little pickle jar women, I call them because they're so tiny, and these guys are snatching them up. I can't understand how this guy gets on top of her sexually. I guess sex is just one position all the time with her on top, because if he gets on top, he's going to kill her. She's going to be dead. Dead in the West, dead in the Philippines. He's going to smash her to death. Okay, I don't know. I never understood. Like, I mean, like when you watch TV, you never see guys have sex with girls that look like children. Okay, you never see that on TV unless you're looking at a snut film or something like that. But you never see that on TV. You see guys sleep with a girl that's about a head shorter than him, and he picks her up and puts her on the desk, or he picks her up and throws her on the bed or whatever, or she gets on top or whatever. Usually she's on top. Usually, he's okay. I'm getting too deep, but the thing is, what I'm saying is, it's a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, forget that crap you see on TV anyway. But where's the truth come in? What's the truth? Okay. Um, so, the Filipina here, the Filipina Pea, this lovely lady right here, this lady, she did a video, um, not too long ago. Well, I think it was like 6 months long when I watched it, and it was like a week or so ago. I watched a video where she did a video about a white foreigner, a white American dude. This dude had to be almost 300 pounds, okay, Whatever he was sitting on was a couch, and he took up the whole couch. He was everything to the Philippine girls. This girl here, the Filipina Pea, she said out of her own mouth that Philippine women aren't into hairy men. They aren't into, and there's not a lot of fat in the Philippines. Everybody's a certain minimum weight size. She said there's not a lot of fat, there's not a lot of hair, and there's no tattoo. This guy was everything that she said they're not into. But it's okay, because why? You guessed it. Okay. So, this Filipina girl comes over to the West with this old man. This man looked like he had to be way over 60. He had to be hitting 70. She's with him for 3 years, I think. I think 3 or 4 years she was with him. She had a knife for him one day and was going to stab him, and I think she did injure him with the knife. They struggled with the knife somehow. He did get injured in that. And he ended up calling the police on her or something, and she got she was diagnosed with mental illness or something like that. Meanwhile, while all this is going on, she gets her green card. And he said out of his own mouth, when she got her green card, that's when all hell broke loose. Okay? When she got her green card. And she got her green card. And that's when she started doing pics on Instagram or TikTok or whatever, her being naked. And how much you want to bet the men that she was showing herself to, some of them were black. And whether they were black or white, they were younger guys, okay? But she was showing her naked pics to these younger men, Western men, after she got her green card. I think the only thing they lied about was the mental illness. I think she knew what she was doing from the jump. And I think her goal was to get a foreigner, move to the West, get her green card. And I don't think she was worried about her sex life being married to this white man. They were married. I don't think she's worried about her sex life because she could always find different men to have sex with, even while she was married. And I believe this is the mindset, I wouldn't say of a lot of Filipinas, but a good number of them. When they hook up with these white men that they have, that you're puzzled, like even the Filipinos are troubled, like what do they see in each other? This guy can barely get off the couch, let's climb into the bed without help, okay? Like, what does she see in him? Well, there you have it, okay? And it backfired on her. But in another sense, I can understand where if you're a young man, if you're an old man, and all you want to do is have your chance with a young girl, whether she be a young white girl or a young Filipina girl, I can understand these white men wanting, just wanting to seal the deal for that last deal. I'm going to marry a young girl. She's going to exceed me and be best friends with my daughters for the rest of her life. And she's going to help my daughters. My daughter's going to help her. And, I don't care if she marries again. Hopefully she'll marry again after, I'm dead and gone. But when I'm dead and gone, I'm not worried about what her sex life is like and all like that. But I do love her. Let's seal this deal. I can understand that on his side. It's her side that I don't understand. And me, I wouldn't do that because to me that's kind of nutty. Okay? But she's talking about the age gaps here. You can look at this video and see the truth about large age gaps. She tried to explain it, and she explained what we think, but she wouldn't explain what the Filipinos think. She just said, "Oh, that's what they like in their culture." Why? Why Filipina P? Why P? Why is that what they like in their culture? I'll tell you why that's what they like in their culture. Because this is what's going on. When you're in poverty, like in the Philippines, it would take you a lot of money, because money, money being the value of your money is bigger in the Philippines than it is in America. That works good in one way. That makes like living in the inner cities real cheap. But when things go up, that makes things expensive. When things become the same price as they are in America, and they don't tell you this, but there are places in America, or I'm sorry, the Philippines, that are for tourists. Philippine people cannot afford to go there. They can't afford to shop there. I think they can afford to live there, but they can't afford to stay at a hotel. Like here in Pittsburgh, I can afford to stay at any hotel. Some hotels that I can go right there tonight and stay in a hotel, a really nice one. But other ones, I'd have to wait and save up for them, plan a vacation in order to stay at that hotel. Philippine culture, they don't do things in their own nation like stay in a hotel. You know what I mean? They don't, well, I'm sure they do. If they want to go on a vacation, they leave one part of the Philippines and go to another part of the Philippines. Philippines is big enough for that, so I understand it. But they don't do it as often as we do it. Like I can go anywhere here in Pennsylvania and stay at a hotel, okay? Depending on what I'm staying at that hotel for. And it doesn't, I'm not working 40 hours a week and can't afford to stay at a hotel. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, some hotels I might have to wait for a pay period and save up that money and put that money in the bank. Other hotels, I can call Uber right now, pack my bags and go. Okay, right now as I speak, it's my day off. I can go stay at a $200 a night hotel for 2 days, for the 2 days I'm off. Okay, but it's not that easy in the Philippines. Okay, it's easy. It's easy, and they live. This is, and let me tell you this before I run out of time. The Philippine women are always dressed up like Western women. We dress up for the occasion. Like Philippine women are always dressed to attract men. Western women have their days and their times of day when they want to attract men, or they want to make a good impression for their job. Okay? The rest of the time they walk around in pajamas, or they walking around in some jeans and a t-shirt or a tank top or something like that. Their whole life is not based on always impressing men. And then you don't see Western women always at the malls and always at the bars or places where they can attract men. The Bible talks about this. Okay? In the book of Isaiah, he cursed the women of Zion for doing this kind of crap. Just always being out there where men can look at you and say, "Ooh, baby, ooh, look at this one. Oh, there's one over there. Oh, there's one over there. Oh, there's one over there." And I watch how like Sunshine Shoulders and this black Filipina TV dude, okay, I watch how they go out and there's always girls to talk to because they're out there for that purpose. It looks like a prostitution ring. Women just out in their little skimpy little dresses and that, at the mall, in the BGC, in other places in Manila where there's shopping in their bars, just waiting for some foreigner to arrive and start talking to them. And the thing is, if they got boyfriends, they're still going to talk to them. Here in the West, you worried about the Western women. The Western men ain't no different. If I catch my girl doing a video presentation with some dude, or I see my girl on a video, I'm watching YouTube or Facebook, and I see my girl on there talking to some dude, okay, on a video, just because he asked her to, I'm gonna turn red. I'm gonna be highly heated and upset. But see, all these girls in the Philippines, they got a Western boyfriend or husband somewhere. But meanwhile, it's the same thing all the time. They're always out there. They're available to do videos with people. They're always out there. They're available to. They look good, like they're looking for another guy. Well, wait a minute. You got your Western boyfriend. Why are you out here tonight? Why are you out here tonight? Oh, well, he's in the West right now. He's got his job. Okay, but you're out here doing a video with this dude asking you what kind of men you like. Well, sweetheart, let me tell you something. You only like one man. That's the man that you're waiting for to come back from the West. What do you mean this is the kind of guys I like? No, there's no guys with an S. The man that you like, the man that you picked, is over there in the West right now, coming back to the Philippines. And you're sitting there with this guy talking about what kind of men you like. And you're blushing about it, and your girlfriend behind you, you know, she's all into it and all that kind of stuff. You know, to me it's wrong. It's wrong. Okay? To me it's wrong. It shouldn't be. Okay? To me it's wrong. And one more thing I'd like to say before I close this out is see, I should have said that. I should have wrote it down. First of all, what will happen to the Philippines if you get all these Western people into the Philippines and they're spending loads of money every week into the Philippines? What's going to happen eventually is, number one, prices in the Philippines are going to go up because there's enough tourists for the value of the Philippines to go up. Second of all, the Philippines is going to look like America. It's going to look like Hawaii, where it's not about Filipino women anymore. It's about biracial women. Because all these black guys and white guys moving into the Philippines, nobody is purely Chinese or Asian anymore. Everybody is part Asian and part something else. And so all these black men putting their seed into these Philippine women and having children with them, their daughters aren't going to be as pretty as them. They're not going to have those Asian features. Okay? You know, the other thing is, why is it always about Filipino women? Which I don't think it is. I think that's what YouTube is about. But I think when you go out to the Philippines, you'll find out that Philippine men are doing the same thing. And I've seen a couple videos about a Philippine man who is, and most of the men, they don't want the wife to come to the Philippines and be part of the Philippines. They want to come to the West and be with their wife. It just kills me how Philippine men and women aren't more knit together than they are, because you got a Philippine man and you're saying that, oh, Philippine men have a tendency, as one video I watched last night, they have a tendency to walk out on the woman when it comes to responsibility and leave her with the kids by herself. But aren't a lot of these black men coming over to the Philippines doing the same thing? They're leaving their Western woman over here and coming over there to get you pregnant with a biracial child. I mean, what's going on? And then like I said in other videos, you don't make a distinction between marriage and boyfriend and girlfriend. You're either married or you're a fornicator. Simple and plain. You're either married or you're a fornicator. In a Christian nation, as you call yourselves, you should know that right off top. You're either a fornicator or you're married. And if you're a fornicator, you're on your way to hell. Okay? If you're married, whether you're Christian or not, that would be the Christian thing to do. Okay? Which would put your bars and your bar hopping out of business, but that's the Christian thing to do. Okay? If women stop pulling their skirts up and then opening up their legs at the bars, that's going to make the bars run out of business because the tourists are coming over there like Mexico to get free cooch, to get free fish. Okay? But on the flip side of that, you got guys coming over here talking about, oh, I just want to be I just want to be with a high value woman because I'm a high value man. But then you get over there and you lay down with a bunch of girls before you find out how value women, and the women are even doing it more. They was doing it before your butt even got over there. They was sleeping around and sleeping around and sleeping around. Okay, and then your Western butt came over there and they want to act like all of a sudden, just overnight, they become a high value woman. You can't be a high value man or a high value woman overnight. And what is submissiveness? This is what submissiveness is. You say most Philippine women don't want to leave the Philippines, okay, and be in the West, but they want the Western man. Well, I'm an American. And yes, I am looking for a submissive wife, and that's the only thing I'll marry. I will die alone unless I am married to a submissive woman. But what is submissiveness? Submissiveness means I'm the man. I'm the head of my house. I'm the king. Oh, come over to the Philippines and be treated like a king. Well, if I'm the king, I should be able to take my wife back with me to the West. It shouldn't be a question or a concern of anybody but the two of us. If I wanna marry a Filipina and she gonna call me her husband, she got my ring on her finger, I can take her back to the West. And should nobody be able to, including herself, say a word about it. And she should want to come back with me because I am her man. I am her husband. I am the man. That's what submissiveness is. A man shall leave his mother and father and cling to his wife. You say, well, that's easy. A man leaves his mother and father and clings to his wife over in the Philippines. That's not what that means. Put it all together with all the other verses to go with it. A man clings to his wife in a place that's about the two of them. It's not about my family, neither is it about her family, but it's about us. If we want to leave the Philippines and live in, let's say, Florida, that's still far away from the Philippines and far away from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, okay, that's my prerogative, and that's my prerogative as a Christian. But you're not really looking for Christian men. You're looking for men to cheat. You're looking for men that don't take marriage seriously. These men only want high value women because the high value women over here are a little bit too feminist. And I can understand that. But the thing is, like I was watching this show today just a little bit ago. The thing is, come on out of there. I need to see the time. Come on out of there. Come on out of there. I gotta click on. Okay, here we go. The thing is, and I'm closing right here. The thing is, just like I was watching Ruslan a little bit ago, just like I was watching Ruslan a little bit ago, okay? All the stuff that they were talking about, let's say there's a bunch of Filipinas that are sitting between their white and black husbands, and they're all talking about what is considered morality and Christianity, and what is considered high value, what is considered abortion and abortion rights and abortion wrongs and all this kind of stuff. Do the women get to open their mouths, or do Filipino women don't care? They're only concerned about their man coming home and taking care of them. Whereas Western women would raise your hand or something and say, hey, this is how I feel about this. And there's nothing wrong with that. When the Bible says women should be silent in church, women should be silent in church, not on YouTube, okay? And the only reason why they said that, if you read it, because at that time, These Christian men were married to non-Christian women. These Christian women didn't have anything positive to say about the topics at hand. So therefore, that's why they said that in the scripture. It wasn't meaning that, oh, a woman can't be in a position of leadership. I don't know if a woman should be a pastor. But as far as women being silent in church, that's impossible. That's not even, only a woman that knows nothing about what you're talking about should be silent. And that's my take on that. Okay. Read the scripture, read the culture around that chapter, and you'll see that book, in fact, and you'll see that it wasn't talking about like women who are Christians just sitting back and shutting up. But I expect in anything I do every day, whether it's my job, whether it's, our relationship, or whether it's the car, the food we're eating, the children, or whatever, for my wife to sit down and talk to me about everything. There's nothing that my wife can't sit down and talk to me about. And if I cross the line, if I act like a child in public, my wife can talk to me like I'm a child in public because I lost it. I don't have a problem with that. Okay? As long as she don't talk to me like that every day like my ex-wife did, okay, I don't have a problem. But if I act a fool, if I lose my temper, okay, and get myself arrested and she got to get a ride home from a stranger or something like that, yeah, I expect to come home and my wife to talk to me like I'm a little child because I put her in danger by acting a fool. Okay, that's just like if somebody tried to disrespect me and my wife out in public. I got to understand what my options are. Is it to let the guy get away with something he said or something he did with his hands or something and get out of here first and get my wife to safety and then deal with it, or call a manager or call a cop or something and tell him I'm pressing charges against this dude for what he just did or something like that, or just turn around and punch the dude not realizing that there's 3 other guys with him and I get jumped there leaving 3 guys there to rape my wife. Okay? You got to use your head. Okay? So there's going to be times when wives need to talk to their husbands like their children. Okay? You got to know what you're doing. But anyway, I'm going to close there because this is probably didn't record anyway. And I'm going to see how this turns out. I will talk more about this later.